Welcome back to the show. Lots to chat about tonight with our panel. Joining me now is former Labor councillor Linda Scott and One Nation Chief of Staff James Ashby. Hi to both of you. Good to see you. Thanks for joining me. Now, look, we've got to start with what happened in the Senate today. One Nation senators have turned their backs during an acknowledgement of country in the upper house on the same day, I might add, that the Prime Minister told us that we should be embracing the welcome to country. This is what he said.
It is not controversial today, nor should it be. It is a respectful way of us beginning our deliberations here in Canberra, which of course means meeting place.
James, so One Nation leader Pauline Hanson, Malcolm Roberts and newly elected Senators Warwick Stacey and Tyron Whitten all turned their backs during that acknowledgement today. The Prime Minister says it's not controversial, but clearly the party's had enough.
Well, the Australian public have had more than enough, and we saw since Sunday 5 welcome to countries, 3 today, 1 on Sunday, 1 yesterday. I just don't know when it's going to end, Danika, and I think unless the Australian people start standing up and sending a very clear message, not only to the government but corporations that just keep ramming this down our throats, we are going to be put through this day after day after day. I don't see any end in it. And that's the biggest problem. So Pauline Hanson, to her credit, for the last 3 years has been turning her back on the welcome to country on the floor of the Senate every single day, it said. Today it was a position taken by all 4 senators within One Nation to do the same thing from the very start of today's parliamentary proceedings. And the same will occur every single day throughout this 48th Parliament. So get used to it, Australia. We're going to turn our backs on it. It's time the rest of you start to speak up and turn your back on it too. It was a peaceful, respectful protest. We're not like Lydia Thorpe, where we'll make a song and dance. But as you can see, it was done peacefully, and I expect that will continue.
Well, look, I say good on you, because you're right. I think personally it's time to start taking a stand against this, Linda. We do sit there. We're very polite when it comes to the welcome to countries. We take it. But 56% of us have said that they are divisive, that they are indeed overdone. I thought it was interesting the Prime Minister said that they aren't controversial. I would beg to differ right now, but what's your take on it?
Well, look, this is where we have a situation where One Nation and the Greens are essentially the same, protesting, having been elected into our National House of Parliament to make laws, to make decisions, to make reforms. Instead, they're in there protesting. We saw today Senator Mehreen Faruqi sitting on the floor of our Parliament as the Governor-General spoke with a sign about Palestinians. And we saw One Nation turning their backs and protesting. They've been elected by Australians. Why don't they just get in there and make the laws? Because they can't. They're just small parties of protest, and they don't stand up for what the majority of Australians think. I think it's so devastating, Danika, that we saw some amazing inaugural speeches today. We saw Ali France giving a speech as the new member for Dixon about her incredible life story, you know, having lost a leg, saving her son's life, then having lost her eldest son to cancer, and still for the 3rd time running and winning an election. We heard from Sarah Whitty, who knocked off Greens leader Adam Bant, speaking about her struggles with fertility and her incredible journey to take children and foster them. What an incredible set of speeches. And then we've got One Nation and James's mob just turning their back on a respectful, welcome,
but I mean, people
Australian
have had enough,
unique tradition.
But people have had enough, though. I mean, this is the thing.
That's exactly right.
It's rammed down our throats. It's rammed down our throats all the time. And we sit and we're polite about it, but it happens all the time, to the point where I think, Linda, it is completely overdone.
Well, look, I think
the problem is Linda wants to make people who respond this way feel bad, and that's not right, Linda. You have to be able to listen to the people out there across Australia. I think Danika's right to point out that more than 50% of Australians don't agree with this welcome to country that's done on a daily basis. You're the one that's been ignorant to the needs and wants of more than half the population in this country, and yet you turn on us. I know you've got your psychology degree, and that's wonderful, but don't try and turn the tables on people and make them feel terrible about speaking up.
James, it's a welcoming Australian unique tradition that teaches everybody.
It doesn't need to be done 3 times today. 1.5 hours was one of them.
People went to religious
It's
ceremonies.
more than
They
that.
went to the Governor-General's house for a barbecue together. They went to a service at the War Memorial.
They were by
this
choice.
Week and the
They were
opening of
choice.
Parliament is all
You're
about
forcing this down the
ceremonial,
throat of every
national,
single Australian at
significant
every
events.
opportunity you have.
It's just sad.
I
Their
completely
choices.
agree. And the other thing is, and I do agree with James's point, is you take a stand on it. You say you don't want any more welcome to countries, and suddenly you're labelled a bigot and you're racist. It's got nothing to do with that. We are all one. We're equal all Australians. Why can't we just be one? And that is my issue with